Welcome to this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. On today's program, we're going to spend some time with Suffolk Public Library talking about some of the unique opportunities they have for checkout over there, including some really cool technology. And we're also going to talk with Suffolk Parks and Recreation, highlight the winter sports offerings for youth, really great opportunities for kids to get out and play and have a good time here in the city of Suffolk. Stay tuned. Welcome back to On the Scene. We're joined now by two folks from our Suffolk Public Library to talk about some unique ways you can use the Suffolk Public Library for some really cool things they have going on over there. We have Liz Steyer, who's the Technology and Content Strategy Manager, and Karen Nelson, the Collection Strategy Supervisor. So ladies, let's jump on in and talk about one thing that really just got promoted or announced recently, Wi-Fi to go. So when we talk about that, again, this is through your Suffolk Public Library, so remember where we're going to get these great devices and things. How does that process work? What are we actually talking about, and how can people tap into it?
Yeah, sure. So Wi-Fi to go is our latest collection. We kind of consider it a non-traditional collection because it's not a book, it's not an audiobook.
Yes.
So Wi-Fi to go are mobile hotspots that you can check out from the library to take the internet home with you. We've heard loud and clear from residents in Suffolk and through our outreach services that people don't always have access, and internet is no longer just a luxury. You need it to get by, to do job applications, do homework. So this was our answer to it, and if you come into the library and check out Wi-Fi to go, it's just going to be a little kit just like this. Inside the kit you'll have some instructions on how to get started, the actual hotspot, charger cables, things like that. Just like anything else at the library, it'll check out for 3 weeks, and if no one else is waiting, you can renew it. They can be placed on hold, and anyone with a valid Suffolk Public Library card who's 18 or older can check one out. It's as simple as that. Just come on into the library, check it out, take it home for 3 weeks.
Now, you mentioned Suffolk Public Library card, and the great thing about that will cost you nothing either, correct? So again, we're a free service through a free access point, so to speak. Now, with the Wi-Fi to go program and some of the other programs we're going to talk about today, correct me if I'm wrong, they are available at all 3 Suffolk Public Library locations, correct?
Yep, and on our library to go vehicle.
Oh, great. Okay, didn't even think about that. Again, the mobile services, so really kind of 4 locations, one kind of coming to a neighborhood near you, so to speak, depending upon the circumstances. Where do ideas like this come from? How do you come up with ideas for collections like Wi-Fi to go or some of the other items we're going to talk about? Because they're very unique and very tailored, and I don't know if it's community feedback that kind of bring this about. You talked about the accessibility of internet service as far as in and around Suffolk, and certainly there's some areas of the city that really don't have the service that some other areas do, just due to their outlying location type status, and unfortunately, that's the way that situation runs. But the one way to maybe move beyond that. But how do these ideas come about?
A lot of them are through, patron feedback, community feedback. We're out in the community with our library to go during our outreach efforts, so we're hearing what people need, what they're interested in. So some of them do come about that, especially the Wi-Fi to go was definitely one that came about that. Like Liz said, with the, the lack of access in many areas. Some of our other ideas, they might come up through, as staff might be talking to someone out in the community and say, hey, somebody, mentioned this, would be interested. We also look at what patrons are checking out, what the community is interested in, what sort of festivals and things like that are going on, so we know what their interests are. And we can kind of tailor some of our collections towards those. Nice.
So if someone had a suggestion for something, they could certainly approach someone with library staff and maybe offer that suggestion to kind of run up the proverbial flagpole and see if anybody salutes, kind of a approach to it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We're always open for new ideas. So.
Good. Well, we talked about Wi-Fi to go. Now, 2 other ones, the Cake Pan Collection and knitting kits. And I've been over at Morgan recently, Morgan Memorial Library, right there on West Washington Street. Walked in, and I think that's all located to the left when you walk in, I believe. So explain to me what we're talking about there. And I also saw them, I believe, also at North Suffolk, right?
Yeah, we have them at both locations. They're available to check out anywhere into the library to go as well.
Yes.
So we have the knitting and crochet kits, and what these include is just the knitting or crochet needles, the thread, the yarn, and a DVD instruction video. These check out also for 3 weeks. You can 3 renewals. You can place holds on them. So in case they are checked out or at a different location, we have those available. So it's just kind of a little self-help on how to knit and crochet.
Very cool. Okay.
You replace the yarn and you keep whatever you make.
Very simple. Okay.
When the cake pans we have, this was a great collection that we just started last year as well. So this one's one of our little dinosaurs here.
Okay.
So it includes the baking instructions straight from the Cake Pan's website, and as well as the cake pan and any of our little checkout instructions. Comes in this handy little kit. checks out for 3 weeks. We
Very
have
cool.
these at North Suffolk and Morgan,
Okay.
located, but you can check them out from anywhere.
Got it.
There's
Okay.
a binder at each location and included on the Library to Go that you can see
Okay.
all of the cake pans we have available.
Cool.
And check those out, place them on hold, and we're getting set to add a lot more. So
Very good. Now, with all the items we've talked about so far, are those where you can go online and reserve them online, or do you need to actually go into a library location to do so?
either one.
Either
and
one.
you
You
can do
can.
it
Okay.
over the phone as well.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
Library to Go, over
Right.
the phone, you can access your account online as long as you have your library card and your PIN number.
So as far as with the collections, you can see online, though, if you're logging in that way to see how many are available, what's currently out there,
Yes.
or if there's a wait to put yourself on that list to get that phone call to come on in and take care of that,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
Very cool. What has the community response been? We'll just take Wi-Fi to go so far. I think they're kind of a, pardon the expression, a hot item to have a hot spot. But, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, so we've we actually launched the collection 3 weeks ago today. So
Right.
today
Okay.
is the first time that
Okay.
they're starting to come back
Very
for the
good.
next people
Yes.
on the list. They were all checked out within
Okay.
that day or reserved within that day. We now have a reserves list that's about 40 people long.
Wow, okay.
So it's getting
Tapped
getting
into a
long.
community
Yes,
need there.
So it's definitely
Yes.
popular. We've gotten some feedback. People are so impressed that this
Right.
is something that we're offering. You know, it's a great way for us to start to address that need. And
Yeah.
you know, we acknowledge that this is just a start
Sure,
to
of
the
course.
to the need, and
Right.
we're hoping that as we continue on, we'll see that we can do more to help, and maybe even take what we like to call the multi-pronged approach.
Right.
This is one way to
Yes.
address it, but you know, what about devices? Sure, someone can take this home, but what if they don't have a tablet or
Right.
a computer or even a cell phone at home to connect with?
Yes.
So we'd love to explore in the future doing something like that too.
Very cool. Now, we're talking about technology there. So you might say, okay, well, I have the ability for you to check out a mobile hotspot. Great. And then someone will go, how do I use it? So I think that goes into another item in the fact that people may not realize Suffolk Public Library, if you have a tablet or certain, a multitude actually of electronic devices, you can get people at Suffolk Public Library staff to help you learn how to use the item, and then you can use the hotspot or use other items like that. So talk about how that works and the fact that, you know, Suffolk Public Libraries, like you said, it's not just about books but it's about, I guess, really learning and growing as people, and I think that's one of the neat things that y'all are doing.
Yeah, through the library website, or if you come into the library, you can set up what we call a discovery appointment.
Okay.
That's a 1-hour one-on-one appointment with a library staff member who's versed and knowledgeable in the area of expertise you're looking for.
Okay.
You can bring in a tablet, have somebody help you set up a tablet, a new laptop, something like that.
Right.
We can help you out with, you know, if you need to learn how to use the Wi-Fi to go,
Okay.
or anything really. Creating a website, like resume or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that, Word applications, that sort of stuff. We also do them for ancestry. So
Okay.
if you're looking for genealogy appointments,
Good to know.
things of that nature. So really put it out the information. We
Right.
can let you know if we have a staff member who knows how to do it, or
Okay.
find somebody who does, really just work with our patrons just
Right.
to increase that access to information and access to knowledge.
So really, I would say, is there a list of what's offered, but I guess the list is theoretically endless if you have a subject matter expert, correct?
Right.
Yeah,
As
that's
long
good.
as we can match up, the customer
Right.
with, the community member with the staff member
Right.
who knows that. Yeah, we're willing to explore all sorts of things.
Well, now, when we talk about technology especially, I mean, I want to say the Suffolk Public Library is not our local version of the Geek Squad or something from Best Buy.
Right.
We're not talking
Right.
about tech support
No.
as much as getting you to know the device you just purchased or were given or whatever the case would be.
Right.
It's sort of that introductory thing,
Right.
correct? Is that the approach that's being
basically
taken?
how to set it up,
Yeah.
download your apps,
Right.
access ebooks, audiobooks, things like that
Mm-hmm.
we offer through the library, that sort of stuff. Just kind of give you that little boost that you might
Right.
need to get going.
Now, how often do you find that people come in with a subject, and again, I guess it can be kind of like a treasure hunt of sorts to see, again, what resources you have within the personnel at the library that could offer that support, but what is that process like internally? I mean, is it, sort of like checking with everybody who's there, send out an email, because again, the diversity of the people we have at Suffolk Public Library, information-wise and education-wise and everything they bring to the table is pretty widespread.
Well, we've seen that need kind of grow from
Yeah.
our patrons and the requests that they put in. So it's another great way for us to know what the community needs
Right.
just through those requests. So right now it's an online form that they can fill out.
Okay.
They can either come in and a staff person will fill it out on their behalf, or they can fill it out themselves from home
Sure.
and indicate what they're interested in. And then we do have our emerging technologies librarian
Right.
on staff is the one who oversees the discovery appointments.
Very good.
So he kind of knows who's able to address the various needs, and then he reaches out and schedules them. But he actually is going to be working to revamp the process pretty soon because we are seeing more of an influx of those requests, and as the need grows, we need more staff available to help out. So we're looking to make sure all our staff are trained and able to do that, and hopefully just about, like Karen said, just about any question you have, we can help you out.
Very good. And I think the learning aspect of Suffolk Public Library is really starting to show itself in programs like we're talking about here today. And the fact that you're trying to empower people to certainly learn on their own through what resources you provide, as well as provide some of that education back for them. I think that's a great opportunity, again, for our residents to tap into. And again, all you need is the free library card to get access to that, and then you're ready to roll. And I think people forget about the fact that there's a lot of available resources online through Suffolk Public Library, learning opportunities, or even if you want to boil it down to the simplest thing, to find out if that book you're looking for is in stock, or again, putting yourself on the reserve list for that. If people would like to have more information regarding some of the programs we're talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, there is some place on your website that talks about this, as well as certainly they can come into any branch or any location, or again, the mobile library as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if someone would like more information, is there any contact number, or would you just direct them to the general number for Suffolk Public Library, or what's the best access point if people just want to pick up the phone and call?
Yeah, probably our general number is the best way. They can also just call any of our locations directly. Our general number will give them a phone tree for the individual locations, so that probably is the best. Our website, if you go to the What's Happening tab, we have a calendar of events, and we've standardized across the system, so everything should look the same.
Very good.
No matter which location you're going to go to, and that'll tell you whether registration is required or not. You can register right online. You can call us to register. So there are a lot of ways. We also have monthly calendars that'll tell you everything that's going on, and that's a great way. We try to hand those out to everyone checking materials out. We have flyers, lots of digital signage as well. So
very good. Now, again, if somebody is interested in the Wi-Fi to Go program, especially, again, you can check it. You can go online to see again when they're available. You talked about the waiting list being approximately how many people right now?
About 40 the last time I checked. So.
And how many devices do you have spread across all your locations approximately? Just so if someone wants to do the math at home and think maybe me, be the first being next. How does that work?
We have 10 devices.
10. Okay, very good. Okay, and again, let's also talk about the fact that there are the 3 physical locations, and when we talk about those, it's Morgan Memorial, North Suffolk, and Chuckatuck, and also you have the mobile library as well. And again, the mobile library, you take that out and about quite a bit, and that calendar, I believe, is also available online as well, so people are looking to find out when it's kind of rolling around town, so to speak, right?
Right.
Very good. Now, anything either you'd like to offer? We have about a minute or two left in the program to encourage people to visit their Suffolk Public Library and see again what's available, because again, if you haven't been there lately, there's been a lot of renovations at different locations and things to spruce things up and make it a lot more open and certainly a lot more accessible with all the different resources that you're offering. So I'm going to give each of you a chance to kind of make the proverbial sales pitch to our residents who maybe don't have that card or even simply haven't been to a Suffolk Public Library location in quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. All 3 of our locations offer pretty much the same things, just in a different format based on the community that it's there.
Sure.
The library to go, like you said, is always out in the community, so check it out, or if you see it. We have books, we have audio books, we have books with audio books for children, adults, programs for all ages, so definitely a great one to come on in and check out a program if you haven't been in for a while. Find something fun to do, bring in for story time, arts, crafts, all sorts of things.
Very cool.
So it's a great opportunity to come in. Anyone with a Virginia or North Carolina address can get the library card for free.
Okay.
So it's just bring in your photo ID and you're good.
That's simple.
Set you up. Yeah.
Very good. Liz?
Yeah, and I would just reiterate our programming. We have tons of stuff going on for all ages, all kinds of things, whether it's more information-based, entertainment-based, tons of things for kids and families. So even if you think maybe the library won't have something for me, we might have a writer's group, for example, or we even have a knitting group, story times, all kinds of stuff, no matter what age. You can even recommend something. So just checking it out to see what we have to offer and how you can be a part of the community.
Good. Again, a community approach as far as what Suffolk Public Library is doing, offering services that people are asking for, and obviously services that people are getting here. So I want to thank you both for spending time with us today.
Thank you.
And again, when you think Suffolk Public Library, think technology and beyond, all kind of great things, I should say, happening at Suffolk Public Library here in our city of Suffolk. And we'll have more on the scene when we return. Welcome back on the scene, joined now by Kenny Clemens. He's with our Parks and Recreation Department. He's an athletic supervisor to talk about some exciting opportunities for the youth in our community, starting actually officially today. Registration is underway for our fall and winter athletic programs. So Kenny, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
When we talk about the programs that are coming up, or that I should say that the registration is ongoing right now, what sports are we talking about? What opportunities do you have?
Well, we're speaking about youth cheerleading. We have youth indoor soccer and youth basketball.
Very good.
Starting from ages 5 all the way up to 15. I'm sorry, ages 4 all the way up to 15.
Very good. And that's in all three?
Yes.
The soccer, the cheerleading, and basketball, correct?
Yes.
Now, when did the programs actually start playing and practicing?
They won't start practicing until December.
Okay.
But they will start playing in January.
Got it. And how long does the season run?
The season is an 8-week season for the league from Pee Wee on up to juniors.
Okay.
For certain sports. More than likely, the tiny kicks and little dribblers, they only have like an 8-week season.
Yeah.
Because it's only just for training.
Right, I got
But the older kids will have like a playoff league.
Yeah.
So it may last to mid-March more than anything.
Very good. Now, when we're talking about registration, it's available, I believe, online.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And then you also can go in
To the local facilities.
You can do that as well.
You can go into Booker T,
Yep.
Mac Bend, Kings Fort, Creekside, and Northern Shores around the hours of 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay. So y'all make it pretty easy for people to get to these
And
programs. Now, the age divisions, is it like a 2-year cycle? Or what are the...
It's a 1-year cycle.
One,
Then
okay.
for the girls division, I want to say for midget,
Yeah.
it's like a 3-year age gap in it, so we can get more girls. That's another thing too. We want to get more youth girls basketball players in our league more than anything else.
Very good.
That's the main thing we're looking at. But again, just to pit back on when you say registration, again, that would be 5:30 to 7:30 Monday through Thursday at all your local facilities.
Got it. Got it. Or again, you can go online pretty much any time.
Yes.
Very good. Now, what's the cost? What are the fees that we're looking at?
Now, for our younger age group, which is 4 to 5, that is $40 for Suffolk residents.
Okay.
And for Suffolk non-residents, it would be $50. And you have to pay online for the credit card.
Got it.
But you can pay on site with a money order or a cashier's check. We do not accept no cash or credit card on site.
Okay. And then what about for the older division?
The older kids, it would be $60 for residents and $70 for non-residents.
Okay.
Same thing, money order, cashier's check at the site, credit card online. You want to make sure that you bring your child's birth certificate.
Right.
It can be a copied birth certificate, or you want to bring the proof of residency too for Suffolk residents.
There you go. So you can save a few bucks on that registration if that's the case there.
That's the main thing. We'll be looking forward to.
I understand. I understand. Now, you guys have done this for a while, so you kind of know what to look for there. But you know, these leagues don't really happen without the great volunteer work of the coaches and stuff that help out. So there's also opportunities for adults in our area that are looking to certainly have that positive impact on a young person's life, or even a team of young people, so to speak, when we're dealing with this. But what type of folks would you say are the type that really want to show up to be doing this volunteer? Because you really don't necessarily have to have sports experience, but it's certainly preferred if you do.
If you're just a motivating person that wants to help a child out more than anything, want to bring kids together to know that teamwork is the main thing that goes on in this league. We're not worried about coaches that have experience. As long as you know something about the game and willing to help, that's the main thing we want to make sure for the kids. You want to make sure that you're there to help and provide help for the kids in these sports. Our main thing is you just want to make sure the coaches go through a background check. That's the first thing for all the kids to be around these coaches and have them at practice. All coaches that are going to be coaching these kids have to have a background check and fill out a coach's volunteer form.
Of course. And again, certainly, I know there's a fee for the kids. There's no fee for the volunteer coaches.
No, it's not.
But you really paid with the opportunity to mold young minds and have some good times with some kids and great parents as well out there making a difference in your community. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. And that would be for coaches as far as with all three, with the cheerleading, the soccer, or the basketball. Opportunities exist, right?
Because we're going to get the kids. The kids will be there to sign up. We want to have as many coaches as we can so that more of the kids in the city of Suffolk can play cheerleading, basketball, and indoor soccer.
Very good. Well, Kenny, I appreciate your time here today. And again, if you're interested in signing up for any of the leagues or even volunteering as coaches, contact Suffolk Parks and Recreation. Or again, if you're registering for the league itself, you can go online, or you can again attend one of the recreation centers with the times that Kenny had mentioned that are available. So plenty of opportunities to go out there and get in touch with your Suffolk Parks and Recreation Department, and again make a difference in the life of a young person out there. So again, Kenny, thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate that.
All right.
That would do it for this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. We'll see you next time.